the spring and where you kind of are going into the spring game?
Yeah, I think first of all, we've taken the players that we've had and looked at them in a couple of different positions. Been able to, look at guys outside and inside. Been able to, cross train outside backers, inside backers, moving our D-line around a little bit, just trying to create some flexibility, and then letting guys compete for jobs. So the combination of trying to cross train guys, getting guys to compete every day in practice, because the only way you get better is to go out and compete and play for something every day. So we've done that. Been pleased with our progress as far as knowing what to do and how to do it. I think our mental errors are at a minimum, which is, a good sign. There's always things you can work to correct and do those kind of things. So we just got to continue to work and develop and understand that this is just the first phase of getting ready for the season. I think the next 2 days are critical because it gives us a final evaluation of the players that we have now to, how are we going to filter in the players that are coming in, the new guys, how are we going to filter those guys in with the players we have and what they know, and then how guys can play. So I think the next 2 days are really critical.
Clearly, there's been a lot of turnover with so many starters gone from last year.
Yeah.
This far into spring practice, it doesn't really have an appearance of a team that lost so many starters.
Well, I think that the guys have done a good job of studying the system, knowing the system, and working hard to become a better player every day, because the only way you improve is to have preparation. So I think the guys have prepared. We've still got work to do, but you do see progress with guys. And some of the new guys, when you look at, some of the corners, Jair, for example, has done a good job. Culver's done a good job. So I've been pleased with those guys. Tremaine was a guy that played a little bit last year, but, I thought he did a nice job in the scrimmage. So, we just got to continue to work those guys in all the positions to make sure you understand, the craft that you play and what you do, and that we can be fundamentally sound and play hard.
What about the spring you've gotten from Josh?
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a guy that kind of knew the system a little bit. He did step away from it for a year. He's a guy that has done a good job of trying to become a leader. He works hard. He made some plays in the game or the scrimmage, on Saturday. And he's just got to continue to work and prepare. And I know he really wants to be a good player, and we're certainly expecting him to be that kind of player for us. We just got to continue to develop his skill set and blend him with the players that we have to give us the best combination of things to do moving forward. So been proud of his effort. Certainly glad he's here, and look forward to coaching him this year and having a big year with him.
What are the most important things you look for in the tape of the game Friday night?
Improvement, really, from the last scrimmage. I mean, there's always going to be mistakes made. There's no perfect player. There's no perfect person. There's no perfect game. The key is can you play harder than the guy you play against? And to do that, you've got to play harder, but you've also got to play more consistent. So really looking for consistency individually, because what happens sometimes is, particularly with the twos, is you may have guys that you're kind of dependent upon, and based upon injury and things like that, there's a mesh of players out there. So it kind of gets down to, you play your position as hard as you can and show on tape the identity that you want yourself to be. And that's probably been the biggest thing for me, is I think that the guys have worked hard. They continue to improve, and just looking for that consistency really out of everybody. But I think they've done a good job so far.
You sense a different mindset from the players with the spring game coming up, or how?
I think they're ready to do something fun. I mean, I think anytime you can go into Papa John Stadium and have the crowd there, that creates excitement, that creates energy. It'll be the last time we really do something like that until I guess we play Houston, here, and obviously, we got the Chick-fil-A Bowl with Auburn. But anytime you can play in front of a crowd, you get to showcase your talent. We always talk about it being showtime and that kind of thing. So it's a chance for you to show what you can do, and you have to be able to perform under lights. Like, I think it's important that you make it a big deal, and you put pressure on everyone to perform. because at the end of the day, the way you win games, you got to win them in the fourth quarter, which means you got to be able to execute under pressure, and you got to be able to do those things. And the kind of team that we want to have, the kind of season we want to have, you're going to have to be able to execute in those critical situations come this fall.
You try to mimic a realistic pregame situation?
Oh yeah, we'll go through how we do it in the game. I think that's critical because we're all creatures of habit, and I think the more comfortable you can make players understanding, this is what we're going to do, this is how we operate on game day, this is our process, this is when we go out and make everything as game simulated as possible. I think it gives them a comfort, moving forward into the season. In pro football, they have 4 preseason games. So you kind of get a feel for that, 4 times, whereas we don't really have that. So anytime we get a situation to simulate game-like stuff, I think it's a big deal. We need to make it a big deal.
All right.
All right, guys, y'all take